following stories are inspired by documented paranormal encounters. Some locations and identities may have been changed to protect the people involved. These stories may be disturbing for younger audiences, and listener discretion is advised. This podcast is based on true events.
Hi, I'm Dalia, she, they.
Hey, I'm B, she, they.
Hi, I'm Brandon, he, him.
And this podcast is based on true events.
Why are you laughing?
Sorry, as I started, my brain said, do it like this, and the like this was, hi, I'm Brandon. And so
Parasites!
And so I was laughing at what I was saying in my head. All right, so welcome back, guys. Hope you had a good Christmas.
War is over.
I do love that song.
Yeah.
Such a good song. But Christmas is over. We got the new year coming up. Crazy, I think it's another year.
Yeah.
All right, well, vibe check, I guess. Because we're at a weird place when this episode comes out. We're at the in between Christmas and New Year's. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're in a lull.
You're probably off work.
Yeah.
You're off work.
I'm
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with my hellions.
Yeah.
Because they're out of school.
Right.
Yeah.
Lucky them, not you.
Yeah.
Well, vibe check. Dolly, why don't you go first? I think you went last couple times, and that's not fair.
Did I?
I think so.
I've also been going first in the intro, so.
That's fair.
It's
It kind of
okay.
balances out, but go for it.
It's fine.
What's
it's
your
fine.
vibe?
My vibe is my toes are a little cold, but I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And my water's nice and cold because my husband filled it up for me.
Yeah, I got both of our waters filled up before she even got home because I was like, I gotta make sure everything's ready to go.
Yeah.
Which I'm usually good.
In my Hello Kitty cup. So.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Not sponsored, by the way.
Can you imagine if we were sponsored by Hello Kitty of
By
all
Hello Kitty.
That'd be sick.
If
Yeah.
our paranormal podcast sponsored by Sanrio of all things.
Are we allowed to say that?
Why? I mean, we're not, but
It feels like they're probably the same level
that would
of
be
like Nintendo.
that would be so insane. And I would love it. It'd be so funny because like I would love to have just out of pocket sponsors.
Would we have like our own little Sanrio characters of ourselves? If we were sponsored
you're an
by
artist,
them?
make some for us.
I don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
You can make little characters. It's called fan
You
art.
can make, you just can't sell.
Well, you can't sell actual Sanrio characters. You can stylize, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like Dalia couldn't make her own quote unquote Sanrio versions of us and then sell that.
Correct.
And market it as Sanrio.
Yeah.
I could
Yes.
probably
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like
right.
Sanbio.
Oh my god.
Brand Bio.
Fucking brain
BBO.
rot over here.
Well,
What's your vibe check?
my vibe check, testing 1, 2, 3 vibes. I'm fine. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm sitting pretty. I'm fine. Yeah, I ain't got really much to say. Like nothing much has changed since the last episode for me. Since this is the same night. I haven't checked. Well, still hoping for not as much snow tomorrow as they're saying it will be. But either way. B?
I'm starting to get hungry.
Yeah?
And there's a blunt calling my name at home.
You can't
and I
eat a
know
blunt.
I'm just 2 hours away from I know I can't eat a blunt. I've had real food today, and I'm going to have real food when I get home.
I forgot to ask that when you got here.
Yes,
You ate today?
I've had
Okay.
real food. I've had water. I've had caffeine. I've had my meds.
Just to
there
be
is-
clear, caffeine is not a necessity.
What?
A necessity.
It is for me.
Fold.
In
No, I
case
mean,
you
like,
didn't
that wouldn't
know,
be one of my questions, is what I'm saying.
I'm fueled off of caffeine and spite. That's just how it is. Well, yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that.
Cool. Well, I guess let me check one thing real quick, and then we can jump on into it. Wow, I really did not do what I was supposed to. Either way, so I'm ready to go, I think.
Yeah, I sure hope so. The episode's been started for a second.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start the episode now that
okay.
You're the
Hi,
first-
I'm
you're the-
Dalia. She, they.
No, I'm ready with my story. I will say, this is just a personal thing. I try to usually space these out. Like, a lot of times when I do these shows and I transpose, I'll get like a couple episodes out of them, or at least a couple stories. I try to mix them up more. This story is coming from the same episode that the tapes story I did a few episodes back is. However, at this point, it's like a month ago, so I feel like that's fine. But also, I didn't have time to keep going and get more stories. After this session, we are going back to like bulk recording on weekends, so that'll get us back on track a little bit better. I feel like, so I'll be able to do that a little bit better. But anyway, it's still a good story, so hope you like it. So yeah, I'm just gonna go. Is that cool with you guys?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Sir, I don't know what's wrong with me. What's going on?
Anxiety.
I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I'm just gonna go.
You do your thing.
So, surgery can be a really scary thing in the most mild of circumstances, and it can be especially terrifying when it's an emergency. I know I personally can't stand hospitals. I really hate them. They have a very overwhelming energy to me, and it makes it worse because hospitals try to be sterile and they try to be clean, and it just feels like it's masking it for me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't like hospitals and like being in hospitals.
I had emergency surgery while I was pregnant.
I remember
was
that.
Scary.
Yeah. What was that on again?
My gallbladder. They had to take my gallbladder out.
My brain kept cycling between gallbladder and appendix, but no, the appendix was me.
Yeah, no, for me it was Cassie broke my gallbladder. Had to have it taken out.
Damn, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah, I've had a couple surgeries in my life. I broke my wrist breakdancing in church at a vacation Bible school one year when I was younger.
I love that sentence so much.
Yeah, that's a great sentence.
You have no idea.
I held it a very sharp giggle. I just want you to know.
Yeah.
It was crazy too, because like I was trying so hard to be cool, and I just was not. And I fell backwards. I landed on it, and it went, and it bent one bone and snapped the other. Yeah, and so I had to. What they did, they put ice on it and taped the ice and my arm to a Spider-Man boogie board.
I love that.
Until we were able to get to the hospital. And then there was a time when I was even younger than that, my appendix burst, and so I had to be in the hospital for a few days. Apparently, it was leaking poison into my body, and so they were like, we need to get this out of you.
Yep.
So that was fun.
Love that.
Yeah, I think I still have a scar from it. I'm pretty sure I've showed both of you at that point. At some point.
What do you mean
Several.
showed me? Never mind.
Oh yeah, you've seen it
married.
all. You've seen it all. You've seen every scar.
I think I showed both you. Who are we? What are we, honey?
I don't know. I'm picturing myself right now after that sentence as like one of those anime guys who takes off their shirt and they've got body covered in like. Never mind.
Scars.
And it's just I do that motion. It's just my little appendix scar.
I have 5 scars on my belly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from where they went in and did that. So because I was pregnant, usually when they do your gallbladder surgeries, typically they'll go through your belly button when they go to take it out. They couldn't. My uterus was in the way.
Gotcha.
So instead, I've got all the way up here. Mm-hmm. Listeners can't see it, but y'all can. But I got scars up here and all around my belly. Okay. And this top one up here is where they went in through to go up over my uterus to get back to my gallbladder.
I see.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Yep.
So surgeries are scary, basically. Honey, have you ever had surgery?
No. The closest I've ever come is getting my wisdom teeth out, but I was awake and on laughing gas.
Yep. When they took my I know, I'm sorry, you're trying to read your story. When they took my tubes, I was reading the notes, and apparently my body was like, so if this is my head, my body was upside down, tilted like this, so they could work it.
That's funny.
It was cool. But yeah, I have a scar on my belly button from where they went in that way to take my fallopian tubes.
Huh. Well, all right. So surgery's scary.
Yes.
Even in mild circumstances, like for me, my wrist or like my appendix was less mild, but still. However, when it's emergency, it can be absolutely terrifying, especially when the operation leaves behind something a lot more sinister than scarring.
A child.
No.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Brandon.
I'm trying to set a mood here.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. That was really funny.
Please continue.
As told by the show Evil Things, I give you The New Left Eye. September 2015. Bucharest, Romania. I don't know if I said that right, probably not. After graduating from law school, Lindsay's parents surprised her with a gift. A 2-month vacation traveling around Europe. While her dad claims it was just a gift for graduating, Lindsay knows that this is just a way to try to push her out of her comfort zone. Her parents were always adventurous people, but for whatever reason, Lindsay just wasn't. And that's how she ended up in a bar in Romania, sitting across from Alex. Lindsay had been purposefully trying to avoid more touristy locations during her trip, so she never expected to run into another American. And for some reason, whether it being how charming he was, or the fact that she was talking to someone who spoke her language, or a mix of both, Lindsay immediately felt comfortable around Alex. This chance meeting would end up changing Lindsay's life forever. A week later, after meeting Alex, Lindsay would wake up in the hospital. Well, at first in a panic, she soon remembered what had happened. She remembered thinking that maybe her dad was right. Maybe it was time to live a little and stop hiding away inside of her shell. So when Alex asked her if she wanted to go on a ride with him on his motorcycle, she accepted. She remembered her hat flying off in the wind as they drove down the highway. Her first instinct was to reach back for it as it flew away to try and grab it. This movement knocked them off balance, and the two of them swerved into oncoming traffic. The doctor said that since she hadn't been wearing a helmet, that she was very lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
Lindsay's left eye had been punctured by a piece of glass, forcing her to undergo an emergency cornea transplant. Alex hadn't been so lucky. He died on impact. And Lindsay couldn't help but feel like it was all her fault. 4 months later, in January of 2016, Lindsay is back home at her law school in Northfield, Minnesota. Her eye had healed, quote, freakishly fast, according to doctors, and hadn't really bothered her much. Until one night, when she was studying late at her campus library. Lindsay's left eye started to blur, making it hard to read the pages in front of her. Thinking that she was just tired after having been at it for a while, she decides to go put her books back and get ready to leave. As she's placing her books back on the shelf, Lindsay jumps as the lights around her suddenly shut off and plunge her into darkness. She calls out that there was someone still in the library, but hears no answer. From behind her, she hears books fall off of their shelves. And while she tries to rationalize that, quote, books fall off shelves all the time, there's no shaking off the feeling that she has of somebody watching her. Lindsay makes her way back into the main area of the library, where she is thankful to find the lamplight on some of the desks greeting her. Still feeling eyes on her, she looks around and her eyes stop on the balcony of the second floor to the library. It's hard to make out, but she swears she can see the figure of an older man standing just beyond the railing, looking back down at her. She calls security, but they find nobody else in the facility. After this, Lindsay decides to start studying at home instead. One of these nights, as she tries to prepare for an exam the next day, she wakes up on the couch in the living room. She had fallen asleep while studying. Her left eye once again had a bit of a blur to the vision, but she had just woken up, so wasn't that normal? As she starts to gather her books, she hears the front door open and close. She thinks it must just be her roommate coming home from a party that she had been at, and calls out to greet her. When she gets no answer, Lindsay squints into the dark entryway, trying to see her roommate. Instead, she feels a shudder go down her body as she sees an older man staring back at her from the darkness of the hallway. The same one, she thinks, that she saw in the library. She starts to back away and jumps as her roommate touches her arm, asking what's wrong. Apparently, she had already gotten home a while ago. She confides in her roommate Mara about what she had seen, but Mara doesn't take her too seriously. Even saying that maybe it was Lindsay's, quote, Romanian boyfriend back to haunt you. While hurting her feelings, it also made Lindsay realize that she hadn't really dealt with everything that had happened in Romania. Alex, the surgery, the guilt, it all came flooding back as she got ready for bed. She sat by candlelight, looking back over all the photos of them together from her trip on her laptop as she just cried silently. If I just hadn't reached back for my hat, she thought to herself, he'd still be here. Rolling over for bed, she stared into the warm glow of her candle. I'm sorry, she whispered. No sooner had she said the words, did the flame of the candle die, looking almost as if it had been blown out. She starts to think, what if she had been seeing Alex the whole time? Is that the man she had been seeing? The next day, as Lindsay is taking a shower, she hears a knock on the bathroom door. She calls back, saying that she'd be right out, and turns off the water. As the bathroom goes quiet, she then hears the sound of the door being opened. She peeks out from the shower curtain, puzzled, expecting to see Mara, but finds the bathroom door wide open and nobody else in the room. Lindsay wraps a towel around herself and goes to wipe the condensation off the mirror. When she does, she sees that her left eye is inexplicably leaking blood all over her cheek.
Jeez.
Freaking out and thinking something must have finally went wrong after the surgery, she covers her eye with her hand and runs to get her keys. She needs to get to the hospital as soon as possible. But as she passes a mirror in her room, she sees that the blood that had just moments ago coated her eye is now gone. Her eye is fine. She still goes to the doctor, but is told that while her left eye is for sure a bit weaker than her right eye, she was healing fine. There was nothing visibly wrong with her eye. Not long after, as Lindsay goes to leave the house for school, she screams as the sound of a gunshot rings from directly behind her. Spinning around, she sees the body of a man laying dead in her kitchen, blood oozing from his head. Another man stood across from him, gun pointed down at the body. Lindsay runs out of the house and calls police, but they find no evidence of any of this taking place. No body, no blood, nothing. Lindsay starts to feel like she's going insane and even considers dropping out of college at one point. At her wit's end, she does the only thing that she can think to do and the last thing that she wants to do. March 2016, Lindsay is sitting across from the doctor that had performed her cornea surgery in his office in Romania. He assures Lindsay that the only kind of drugs that she had been given for her surgery were normal sedatives and painkillers. Lindsay begs to know who her donor was. It took some convincing, but the doctor does eventually give up that the man whose cornea was used had been from a Romanian prison. He had been imprisoned for killing his father and had most likely died by execution. Lindsay is actually able to find crime scene photos from the murder and confirms that it was indeed the man who she saw bleeding from his head in her kitchen. The doctor assures her that it's impossible that she should be seeing anything connected to the donor. Information is stored in the brain, after all, not the corneas. After getting back home, Lindsay is awoken in the middle of the night by the sound of a gunshot. She realizes there's only one thing she can do to get it to stop. Eventually, Lindsay decides to have a second cornea transplant. This surgery unfortunately failed, and she is now legally blind in her left eye. However, Lindsay reports that since the second surgery, the sightings have, in fact, stopped.
That's terrifying.
That's so fucking weird. I love it.
Yeah. Weird shit.
Yeah? Yeah. Kind of crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Because that's a good point. Like, that shit's stored in the brain, not the cornea.
What? By all matter of speaking, that should not happen. But, like, then you get into the idea of, like...
The idea?
Yeah, the idea of, like...
I hate you guys so much.
No, you don't. But, yeah, you get into this idea that, like, if this inmate was, like, killed by execution, and obviously he was a violent person in life, or at least did something violent in life, I feel like that's going to stick, you know? Especially if your body is, like, taken apart and put somewhere else. Like, in a paranormal spiritual sense, it would make sense to me that part of the soul would stay with that. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's not an active haunting, like something residual that is just replaying things over and over again, right?
Yeah.
Like, that would make sense to me. As somebody who does believe in the paranormal, at least, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, we say, like, what is it? It's like water holds memory. What if just, like, bodies, skin, cells hold memory.
We're mostly water.
That too, but the cornea, I don't know
No,
if the cornea
yeah.
has water. I don't know how that works.
Well, scientifically speaking, they shouldn't, though. But, like, in a spiritual manner, it feels like they should. It feels like everything would carry your energy on.
Yeah.
Because, like, energy can't be created or destroyed, so it just goes. You know
Also,
what I
wasn't
mean?
there a movie with this plot?
There's a couple different things that have this plot.
Because really,
Like a similar plot, yeah.
I find it really not cool, but cool that like there's a real life story of it, if that makes sense. Not cool, but you get it.
Right.
Interesting, I guess, for
I
lack of
mean,
a better word.
In my opinion, at the very least, and this is just my opinion, this has no basis in fact, I don't think there's many stories that don't have some kind of inspiration behind them. Maybe not direct, obviously, but like it wouldn't surprise me at all that like this is not the first time this has happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
And maybe that's where those kind of stories come from, is like passing down of like, hey, this happened, it becomes an urban legend, and now it becomes something that's like gets told on a movie or whatever. But yeah, what do you guys think of that one?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
That poor lady, though. Jeez.
No, for sure. Like, I can't blame her, though. Like, I think I would rather lose the vision than continue with that. Because, like, especially, like...
Gunshot.
Thinking of you specifically, you would be distraught if you would just hear random gunshots. Because then what is real? Is there a real gunshot ever?
Yeah.
Like, do you just learn to live with it and then you don't have that, like... I don't know how you could learn to live with that, honestly. Especially if it's, like, random. And then you just start seeing people. Like, I'd go insane.
Yeah. You're right. It would destroy me.
Right.
You didn't say that, but it would.
All right. Anything else you guys got for me? No? Okay. Well, so I have 2 pictures for you today, which, like, I always try to at least do 2. I originally thought I got Lindsay, but then again, this is one of the stories where they confirmed that, like, hey, this is an actress portraying somebody so that they can get this story out there. So I was like, that doesn't seem necessary. So for this first picture instead, I have a picture of Bucharest, Romania. So I'm sending that now.
Ooh.
So it's very, very pretty, above shot.
It's gorgeous.
Very gorgeous, yeah.
It's giving like Paris meets Vegas.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. And then I looked up law schools in Northfield, Minnesota, and I did not take note of what school this was, but I did find one that was nearby, like that area. And so this is the library that they have for that campus. So this is why this is what I was kind of picturing, kind of give a visual. This is what she was at that night. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where it first started happening. Like you can kind of see there's like some lamps on the table there, or a couple tables there, or some. I thought so, at least. Maybe not. No, I think there is. It's a bit of a blurry photo, but I can just imagine coming back through a completely dark library and seeing only being lit by lamps. Part of me, my initial thought is, ooh, cozy, because it's a library.
Yeah.
Libraries aren't scary to me. However, add another person I don't know, then it's scary. Anything's
or
scary.
add it being abandoned, or
True.
Anything could be scary with a couple additional
a couple
elements.
tweaks, yeah,
a
for
couple
sure.
Tweaks, yeah.
But yeah, that is my story for today. Any other thoughts before we move on? Alrighty.
I thought that was really cool and interesting.
Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
It's one of my favorites, I think.
Cool. Very nice. All right.
Excuse me. Don't mind me sprawling out like a, I don't know what.
Whatever you got to do.
I'm man-spreading currently.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You're just full of it today, ain't you?
Apparently.
What do you got for us?
I have one story yet again.
Okay.
So have you ever been interested in urban exploration?
I have. However, I am also terrified of running into people with bad intentions. And that is my main problem. Like, if you told me, hey, the only thing you're going to encounter here is like haunted stuff, I'd explore all the fucking time. But you add real people to the mix, like living people, and I'm like, I'm more scared of that.
I'm more scared of like the infrastructure failing and
that
falling
too.
through something than I am anything paranormal that I might find.
That's also very true, yeah.
That's what I'm afraid of. I would love to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Get a group together and go do something. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I would be really anxious about the infrastructure failing.
I'd also be really anxious about being caught by the police and being yelled at.
I
my
don't
thing.
Fuck Pitt. I don't.
No,
I got y'all.
No, same.
I
However,
agree, but I don't go very fast, so I can't really run from the cops.
You ain't got to. I got a smart mouth. They'll all be focused on me. You're fine. It's not my first rodeo.
Okay, so some people love the rush, the history, and the experience, and our OP on yourghoststories.com is not any different. This allegedly true encounter takes place during an exploration. So let's get into it. They've titled this Soviet Sanitarium. The user's name is Drake, but it's spelled Dreyk. And
okay.
yeah, and
Okay.
the date it was posted was February 23rd of 2021.
Oh, all right.
The country it takes place in is the Russian Federation. And I would like to apologize in advance for any pronunciation errors because there's a lot of words that I'm not sure how to pronounce, and I could only look up so many.
You're probably going to do better than I would, so.
Same.
The paranormal category of this one is haunted places.
Ooh.
Moving into our new downtown high-rise flat was a serious pain. Seriously. It took over a month from the time we purchased the apartment to when we could even start moving our belongings in. Then we had to wait several more weeks for specific fixtures to arrive and get installed. The city was obviously experiencing a boom from new trade with China and Japan. And then the housing growth was far exceeding the city's construction industry's capacity. The winter had been particularly cold as well, and although we were now in March, there were no sign the freezing temperatures of the snow intended to abate. Babushka had also fallen ill with a particularly nasty bug and even more nasty cure, which of course, thanks to her superstitious upbringing, meant she had to try all manner of strange, horrible-smelling salves and potions. Ludia, which is their partner, took a small break from work to stay with her grandmother and help her during recovery. The memory of what I saw in her bedroom over the New Year holidays never fully left the back of my mind. However, every time I'd make my way into her room to say hello or bring her a bowl of soup, I'd expect some presence to be felt or some object to move. I refused to be left alone in that house again. Once the stress of the move had abated and we were successfully moved into our new home, work began to take on a much more structured and orderly pace, and our lives at last started to stabilize. It was time for my girlfriend and I to begin our adventure together. The first places we wanted to see were some of the former Soviet republics, which could be found along the country's southern and western borders. Nation which, although freed in the early 1990s, never seemed to thrive in the same way that Russia proper had. Once the winter's icy grip had finally started to thaw, around late May we flew from Vladivostok to Chelyabinsk. You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying.
Far away in the Caucasus, and from there we rented a car to drive to the border with Kazakhstan. I really apologize for the
Kazakhstan
pronunciation.
that's right. Yeah.
Kazakhstan? Okay. The road was in excellent condition, and this was obviously a vital trade route. And we purred along nicely in our rented Chevy Cruze. Honestly, I probably would have preferred a good old Soviet-era Lada to get more of the experience, but for whatever reason, none were to be had. At the border, we got quite a few stares from the security patrols and border police on both sides. It was obvious that very few tourists or even European Russians passed through the crossing. The region was populated almost entirely with native Tatar, Kazakh probably is how it's pronounced, and Bashkir people. Notwithstanding the curious questions and glances, a few passport scans, and a check for fruits and vegetables, and we were on our way south again, now in Kazakhstan. The first stop on our journey was to an abandoned sanitarium. Now, when you hear that term sanitarium, you most likely think of the privately run asylum, or perhaps a place where people with chronic illnesses would go to hopefully recover. However, in Europe and these Eurasian countries, they often had a very different use. They were simply locations where local citizens could go on a short vacation, escape from the stresses of the major industrial cities like Chelyabinsk or Omsk, and relax. They usually included a lot of steam rooms, pools, tennis courts, and maybe a small football pitch. They were paid for by the workers' government-backed jobs, or were simply free in many cases and were considered an essential part of a person's work year. With the fall of the Soviet Union, most of these places weren't bought up by private companies, and the government in most of these ex-satellite nations couldn't afford to maintain them. They were allowed to rot, and in some cases were filled with refugees from one post-Soviet war or another. This sanitarium, it appeared, was simply allowed to die a slow death. The grounds were secured, quote unquote, though in typical style. That really only meant a chain and a padlock, both of which were long gone by the time we arrived. The white stucco facade in traditional Soviet Romanesque design was broken and scarred, with large cracks exposing the concrete and rebar skeleton within. Virtually every window had been broken out, and most likely by area kids who had also taken it upon themselves to cover every inch of the interior walls with graffiti. The building had obviously been vandalized as well following the fall, as most of the ornamental hammer and sickle emblems had been intentionally chiseled off the walls, and we'd come across the occasional bust of Stalin or Lenin with the face broken away.
As you should.
Yeah.
Moving down into the lower levels, we came across the Great Theater. Massive and paneled in false marble, the auditorium could probably have fit at least 2,000 people in its heyday. Now silent and crumbling, long, tattered, mold-covered velvet curtains hung precariously on either side of the performance stage. The stage itself had more broken than intact boards, and several of the heavy projector lights had fallen from their pinches in the rigging above, to puncture through the mossy stage like cannonball scars. Just to the right of the stage stood a tall, multi-paneled window, which, as with the others in the building, was entirely devoid of glass. As the faint sunlight filtered through, forming long rays of swirling dust and mold spores, my girlfriend spotted what appeared to be an outline of a man standing just to the side of the window frame. Tapping me on the shoulder, I turned to look at where she was monitoring and caught a glimpse of the man myself. Calling up to him in Russian, we tried to get his attention, thinking at the time he was simply a local exploring. Privet, which is, hey. I called up to the form. With no answer, I called up again, more formally this time. Dobry den, something like that, which is good day. Still, there was no reply. I wanted to try my hand at that because I just love languages.
Yeah.
For a moment, we wondered if this was perhaps a security guard, and that we were trespassing. The figure was rather clear in his position just beside the window, standing outside and looking down at us from perhaps 12 meters up the wall. Asking my girlfriend to wait there a moment, I stepped back through the front and through the entrance of the theater and made my way quickly around the corner of the building to the exterior wall adjacent to where the window stood, pulling my mobile phone from my pocket along with my passport, in case it was security. I quickly made my way up to the point to where the man was standing. I stopped in my tracks as I found sheer wall. No place for a man or anything to be standing at the exterior of the building outside the window. No balcony, no bridge, or walkway. Not only was there nowhere to stand, but there was no man there. Tapping my girlfriend's number into my phone, I placed the call and waited anxiously while it rang. "Hello," she answered softly. "Is the man still there?" I asked, trying not to give away the surprise and adrenaline in my voice. "Yes, he's still standing there, staring at me," she replied. I quickly explained that he could not be standing there and why, the explanation causing her to ask me to stop and slow down several times. When it finally dawned on her what I was saying, she cursed softly into the phone and took off running towards the entrance. I also took off, closing the gap between us as quickly as I could. When I saw her there, emerging from the Grand Theater's gaping entrance, she was pale and shivering. We grabbed each other and both made our way back around to the exterior wall. We both knew what we'd find when we arrived, but something in our minds made us need to verify it ourselves. As expected, there was only a sheer wall, a broken window, and no man there waiting when we reached the spot again. We discussed what had happened at length, verifying with each other that we had indeed both seen what we had thought we'd seen. When we were both convinced that neither of us were insane, we pressed on, back towards the larger of the buildings on the old sanitarium campus. The building had obviously been the old administrative wing. It contained staff housing, offices, meeting space, and a lot of what looked to be rather official documents scattered all over the floor of several of the first floor rooms. The doors had been completely removed from the hinges and taken, probably made from valuable metal or containing ornate carvings. It was a prize too valuable to leave behind, and as was often the case with these abandoned structures, the treasures were immediately looted in the early 90s. Of the massive filing rooms contained what had to be 400 individual filing cabinets lining both sides of a massive rectangular room. Between the rows of cabinets sat a dozen long tables with piles of old documents scattered all over. The roof had long failed, causing rain and snow to penetrate the room and turn these papers to mush, mixed with mold and grasses struggling to grow in a random scattering of penetrating sunbeams. That's a sentence.
They said penetrate. Sorry.
Upon entering this room, both of us had an intense feeling of unease. There was definitely the
Bless you.
Thank you. Excuse me. There was definitely the sense that someone was watching us, though we were obviously the only two people in the room. Using our own powered LED flashlights, we scoured every nook and cranny of the room, and the only people there were the two of us. The deeper into the records room, the harsher the sensation felt. Until it was almost one of the resentment and even loathing. Hold on, let me see. Sorry. Okay, so it was like a loathing sensation.
Yeah.
Calling out to the unseen energy, I tried to determine what it was and what it wanted. Again, in Russian, I spoke out. Privet, if you remember, that means hello. Mm-hmm. I called out loudly, "Who are you?" in Russian. It looks like it's pronounced Koti. And then he says, "Do you want us gone?" in Russian, which I'm not sure I should try to pronounce, because...
Okay.
We stood there in silence as my questions echoed through the room, our flashlights cutting beams of white light through the dark angular space. Suddenly, with no warning, we noticed movement at the far end of the room. A large portrait of what looked to be a Soviet official detached from its mount at the top of the frame, swung forward and crashed down on a stack of rolling desk chairs which were piled on the floor in front of it. The force of the crash sent several of the chairs careening off in different directions, and the rotten frame and canvas of the portrait cracked into several pieces, filling the room with an ear-shattering crash and the squeaking of the rusted chair wheels. I always mispronounce this word. Suffice to say, that was enough of an experience for the both of us, and we were quickly and efficiently made our way back to the rental car. Okay. A couple of minutes later, we were back on the road to Kostane, where we would stay for the night. I would say sleep, but neither of us got much sleep that night.
Damn.
That was really interesting, yeah. I love hearing about, like, ghost stories and stuff from, like, haunted places, like, from other countries, because I don't get to a lot, I don't think. No, that's... Yeah.
A lot of words.
A lot of words, but, like, still really interesting. I think it's something I would yearn for, honestly. Like visiting like an abandoned place. I'm looking for ghosts. I'm looking for nothing but ghosts.
Yep.
At an abandoned place. That's all forever
Why
and
I'm
always
there.
just me and ghosts. But yeah, that was good. Do you have pictures for us?
I do, and I had some trouble with these pictures because most of them would save to my phone, but there were like 2 or 3 that just were like could not save. So I just screenshotted them, and so the cropping's a little weird.
Sure.
Just a little bit of a heads up.
Whatever.
So now I tried like hell to find the place that OP was talking about, and I came across abandoned sanatoriums, but no sanitariums.
Okay.
Sanatoriums are like the asylums and hospitals that were mentioned, from what I understand, at least. I was able to find a post on Reddit where the photographer titled it sanatorium, but it looked a little, maybe the word is lax.
Okay.
To be just that, looked more like a place they would go to like vacation.
Sure.
And it's from Kazakhstan, where OP was.
Right.
So I present to you, maybe, possibly, several photos of the place OP was discussing. Maybe? I'm gonna just put them in here.
Okay.
Sorry if there are duplicates. I tried like hell to do that. There are several photos. I do apologize.
Okay.
Now it's saying could not send.
Oh no.
We're gonna pretend like we can see them, but the photos were taken by Reddit user Nord Skiff. These photos do not want to send and save. It's the weirdest thing.
Odd.
It is. I haven't had issues.
I think
at
I
all.
know what it might be.
What is it?
It might be the type of file that it is. Like if you go to details, what does it say?
Okay, I resent it.
Oh,
and it
okay.
worked.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Fuck me then.
No, they're just straight up didn't want to send. That's all.
Oh, these are. Ooh. Oh, that library one is neat. Oh, these are cool. I don't want there to be too much silence, so I'm trying to sparse it in with words. But these are really neat. I love.
Yeah, there's 10 photos, so they're looking at all of them.
Yeah.
That's why.
No. So I'm gonna try to. I don't know. How should we present these? I don't want to do like 10 photos at a time, like one each. But like maybe I could do.
You can make a couple of collages.
Yeah, I could, couldn't I? Okay, so I'll pick like 8 of my favorites and do 2 4 sets.
Okay.
Is that fair? That's what you're seeing. But right now you're seeing like a bunch of pictures of what we're seeing.
There's like an abandoned piano. There's an abandoned pool table.
The one with like
the library is
the mirrored chandelier up top. What is it? Picture 5. That is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like the windows. That is really neat. I love abandoned places. What the hell is this with the owl and like the wood and stuff?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
It's a odd structure. Very liminal. Abandoned places are, obviously, but like, huh.
So obviously I don't know if that's the place. OP said there was graffiti all over the wall, and I didn't see any graffiti on these walls.
True.
So I'm not too sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like
but it's the vibe.
It's the vibe, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What do you think, B? You have a favorite picture?
Probably that owl one. That's
a very
weird.
odd one, right?
I really like the pool table picture.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
But the owl is the most capturing for me.
Okay.
That's the one that makes me stop.
No, for sure. Absolutely.
It kind of doesn't fit in with the
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah, it feels like a completely different area.
I almost wonder if that was like a children's area.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's possible. If you look in the top right above that beam, you see like, I think it's a window, and it looks like it's like a blue sky with yellow sunbeams coming down. That's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
I also just love stained glass, so like, there's that. Oh yeah, these are really cool. The library is like really neat. Look, I keep saying neat and cool, but that's what it is. Like, I do love, I love places that are like kind of historic and like you can tell they have a lot of like history to them, right? And so abandoned places, I always like end up thinking like, ooh, what happened here? Like, what's the story here? I want to know everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think the photo with the mirrored chandelier is my favorite.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, I just realized another thing that keeps me from urban exploring: mold.
Yeah, mold is scary.
Yeah, and mold is very prevalent in those places.
Yep.
Usually.
Yeah, I mean, OP was talking about it on the curtains and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is what got me thinking about it. No, yeah, those are cool. I like that.
Yeah, because have you ever heard of a sanatorium that has
Yeah.
that has like a theater
Oh, I don't know.
and a piano and a pool table?
Yeah.
You have an asylum with all that?
I'm pretty sure I've heard of one that like there's a semi-famous haunted one that has a bowling alley in the basement.
Huh.
That's called money.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I think we watched Project Fear go there, hun.
Did we?
Like on a video, yeah, because like one of them like tried to sleep on the bowling alley.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
it was really like
I
scary.
don't remember that at all. But I mean, I'll take your word for it. I
Yeah.
haven't heard of that. I didn't think of it. So it could be a haunted sanatorium, or it could be a haunted sanitarium.
Sanriotarium.
Here we are again, full circle.
Sanbio.
Sambio.
Well, B, what have you got for us before we go into a completely different year next episode?
I've got something a little different.
Yeah?
To kind of go with New Year's. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I have, someone had asked the question in Reddit. They said, Reddit, what's some fun things to do on New Year's Eve if you're not a big party goer / under 21? And I've got a commenter here who left a lot of really good ideas that I think are good, not only for like if you're underage, but if you're someone who just doesn't drink, because I mean that's pretty big in our culture, I would think.
Yeah,
is drinking on New Year's
because of it is not recommended I drink anymore. So
yeah,
not that if I ever did, it was more casually anyway. But like with my like pre-diabetes and my like liver and stuff, I can't really like it wouldn't be beneficial for me to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
yes,
that's
this
great.
guy gave a whole list of ideas that I would love to read because I think that they're great ideas, and I might take some of these for me and my kids.
Sure, go for it. Let's hear them.
Yeah. So the commenter says, I'm not sure if these count as partying, but I'm not a huge club goer, so my friends and I like to have fun in other ways, such as, but not limited to, weird food betting. If you have exotic grocery stores anywhere nearby, pick up a bunch of the weirdest food you can find, preferably things you've never heard of or tasted before. Play any game that requires betting. The loser has to pick a food out of the pot and taste it. It's fun because sometimes the food is actually really tasty and sometimes it's horrifically bad. An inflatable or trampoline party. Some areas have active play party venues that have trampolines, inflatables, obstacle courses, etc. Oftentimes they have specials for New Year's that are always a good time. Host an overly fancy tea party. Make sure to include cucumber sandwiches, scones, and mini sweets. Ask everyone to dress up as snobby as possible and only speak in your snobbiest accent all night long. Play board games in character. Then there was a request for some more. People were like, hey, those are sick. Give me more.
I agree.
And commenter said, bet, here you go. RC car monster truck rally. Put together a shitty monster truck arena with dirt and whatever free crap you find laying around / online. Have each participant bring their RC car, encourage bullshit modding and decor, play metal music while battling your cars. You can find cheap RC cars on Amazon. Attempt to make raindrop cakes. It's stupidly hard for something that contains less than 5 ingredients, and the results are often hilariously disappointing. If you live near a body of water, attempt to make small boats out of biodegradable materials, either purchased or forged. Don't litter. See if any of them actually float. If they do, throw rocks at them to try to sink them. Have a chop/iron chef style competition using only easy bake ovens and children's play cooking utensils.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
If you have cattails growing in your area, wait until they're about to seed and use them to have a battle royale. They explode dramatically upon contact. You win if your cattail explodes upon striking your opponent. Don't wail on each other too hard though, it doesn't take a lot for them to explode. Wear safety gear just in case. Football uniforms with safety glasses work well for this. And finally, we have Play Mario Party. But the people in the room are only allowed to communicate by making their best impression of their character's default catchphrase. For instance, different inflections of Yahoo from Luigi or random Yoshi noises. This gets extra fun if you can get your friends to do a shitty cosplay of their character as well. Anyone who breaks the rule must either drink, grab a weird food out of the weird food pile. Rewind. Anyone who breaks the rule must either drink or grab a weird food out of the weird food pile, depending on whether or not alcohol is involved.
That's
cool.
Love all of them.
Yeah, I thought they.
I can very much picture our group doing
Yeah,
this. Like,
yeah, all of them. I thought they were great.
so the play board games with like tea and like this.
character.
In character,
that
I'm so down.
You know what game would be perfect for that? Betrayal.
Yep.
Betrayal.
Excuse me.
Betrayal
I burped.
party?
I got so excited.
Betrayal party?
Betrayal party.
Betrayal?
Betrayal party.
I feel like Betrayal is one of those games where that's a game night.
Yeah.
That's like a singular game night. You get together. you get together and you play that one game. Like we have a few bigger board games like that. So we need to plan something, which I think would be fun if we plan like, hey, there's one board game tonight. We're learning this one. It'll take a long time. Let's do a theme. You know what I mean? Like we have a game.
Mysterium would be fun too.
I was just about to
Mysterium
say, I'm
would be
over
fun.
here just like, I just want more Mysterium in my life and I'll be happy. I love that game so much.
So fun fact, that OG game night that ended up getting canceled, we had just enough people to play a full game of Mysterium. It was on the list.
Mysterium.
I was like, damn. But what I was going to say, we have this board game called Unfathomable, right?
Yeah.
And everyone is aboard like a ship in like the olden times, right? Not too old, but like the fancy olden times, around where like gothic horror and like H.P. Lovecraft and stuff is. But some people are cultists trying to get fish monsters onto the boat, and some people are not, and so they're trying to keep the boat going to their destination. And there's a bunch of figures where like these Lovecraftian like Cthulhu-esque creatures can get onto the boat and cause havoc and stuff, and it seems really fun. Or like Wonderland's War would be a good one too.
Yeah,
that'd be
I
good
love
for the
that
tea
game.
party when we come in like dressed up like Wonderland. Oh, that'd be so fun. Or like Unfathomable, you could dress up like old timey ship passengers.
Okay, New Year's
summer
resolution.
parties.
New Year's resolution: have more board game parties where we do things in theme.
Yep.
That would be that'd be so fun.
Yeah. I have one singular picture. I was looking up New Year's glasses.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of curious what they were going to do for 2026. All these fucking glasses are so damn ugly.
Yeah.
I found one pair that I was like, okay, I kind of like those. That makes sense. So.
Oh my god.
But everything, like, there's one that I seen that it said 200, and then the 26 was like up here.
Ew.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
There were all kinds of really fucking weird ones, and that was the only one that I was like, okay,
No,
that looks fine.
This kind of
down
works,
with
but
that
it's
one.
still goofy.
Yeah, it's goofy, but it's like, I get it.
It's
you know?
lopsided,
I like
though.
being goofy.
No, yeah. It's
They're all lopsided. That was the most even one.
So, like, the thing is, they could fix this easily. That star at the end, they just gotta make it bigger, like as big as the 2, and it'd be perfect. It'd be fine. Not perfect,
Yeah.
but it'd be good. Better. It'd be okay.
Yep.
All right.
And that's my story.
All right. Well, who would like to give our
I do it.
All right. You know, I'm
Okay. Yep. So you can find us on a ton of socials like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, but not Twitter because
Fuck Twitter!
I'm not sure if I'm missing any, but if it's a social network and it's not Twitter, we maybe possibly have it? Question mark? Yeah.
Did you say TikTok?
Yes.
Instagram?
Yeah, stop. Don't double. Yes, I did. Anyway, so if you have any.
We said fuck Twitter, right?
She's gonna beat the fuck out of you.
What else is new?
Don't do that!
I'm kidding.
Don't!
I'm very much kidding.
This is going on the internet and people will cancel
The internet
me.
is forever, Brandon.
Cancel Dalia 2025.
Everyone knows I had it coming.
2026?
Whatever day it is that you're listening to this.
Everyone knows I had it coming, and if you don't, I had it coming.
He had it coming.
No,
Honestly,
obviously that is just a
get
joke. I want to make that very
Brandon's
clear.
the kind of guy to piss off his partner just so that they fucking push him up against the wall.
Please.
He's right where he wants to be. It's okay. Don't worry about him.
Why did they just say LMAO out loud? LMAO.
You should have.
LMAO.
I say LOL all the time, so
I know you do. Okay, you guys threw off my groove.
we threw off the Emperor's groove.
Oh no.
So, if you have true encounters, whether that be wholesome encounters or paranormal encounters, please send them to TPIBOTE at outlook.com. That's TPIBOTE at outlook.com. If it's a paranormal encounter, please put in the subject line Dalia, no H. If it is a wholesome or positive encounter of some kind, some good deed or something, put B in the subject line with 2 E's. Bzz. Bzz, 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 bzz. Please don't forget to rate and review us anywhere that you can rate and review us on our socials. And who wants to take it away?
Real quick, let's have B do it.
Okay.
But first, guys,
Uh-oh.
we'll see you next year.
Ew. Tomato, 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 tomato.
Okay, but it's not the same as like leaving work and being or going to sleep and see you next year. The
That's
next
true.
episode will be next year.
That's true.
Okay.
All right. B.
All right, friends. As always, this podcast was based on true events.